Sharks. Many know and have seen the horror movie Jaws. It sent the world into panic and frenzy of sharks. But what if I were to tell you there was a real life shark attack and shipwreck incident that was way worse than that whole movie? And it's true. And today I'm going to go over the tragedy of the USS Indianapolis. I hope y'all enjoy, and let's get to the video. The USS Indianapolis was a heavy cruiser for the U.S. Navy. Was the flagship ship for Admiral Raymond Spruce from 1943 to 1945. While he commanded the Fifth Fleet in battles across the world, across the Pacific during the World War II, the crew were transporting pieces to the atomic bomb Little Boy. The pieces mainly were uranium that was used for the bomb. They departed Hunters Point Naval Shipyard in San Francisco on July 16, 1945. The ship set a speed record of 74.5 hours from Hunters Point to Pearl Harbor in Hawaii. They arrived on July 19th. They successfully transported the parts of the atomic bomb. They delivered the parts to Titanium on July 26th, and the atomic bomb was dropped on Hiroshima, Japan a few weeks later. The Indianapolis was then sent to Guam. That's where many crew members completed their tours and was relieved by other sailors. They left Guam on July 28th, heading towards Leyte. The crew was supposed to have training before heading to Okinawa. They were going to join Admiral Jesse B. Ollendorf's Task Force 95. At 12:15 a.m. on July 30th, 1945, tragedy struck. They were hit by a Japanese torpedo, and they were sunk. This Japanese submarine was captained by Michiru Hashimoto, who initially thought he had spotted the New Mexican-class battleship Idaho. The explosions caused massive damages. The Indianapolis took on a heavy list. That means the power of that torpedo was too great, and within minutes it was flipped over on its side and the stern rose into the air. That's not where the tragedy ended and drowned. 300 of the 1,095 sailors went down with the ship. There were only limited life vests and rafts that anybody could get on, and there were so many people hurt and injured and splashing. It attracted sharks. Sharks then came and started picking off the dead bodies that were floating up to the surface from within the ship. But when that all quit and all the bodies were gone, they started feasting on the ones that were alive and the ones that were injured mainly at first. Most of the sharks were Atlantic white-tip sharks, but also tiger sharks did that too. The sharks would initially and intentionally give them soft sense of hope and security. They would bump into the living ones, just nudge them, and then they'd leave. And then nudge them, and then they'd leave, thinking, oh, we're safe, we're not going to get attacked. But then they started picking them off one by one. And like I said, there wasn't many life preservers or rafts, so it became so much. They just kept getting eaten and eaten. They would even bump into the rafts. Nobody could sleep. Nobody could even be at peace because these sharks were tormenting them. And on top of that, they were stuck at sea for 5 days. On the third day, they found a box that had rotten potatoes in it. And then they would also use that box that was floating to help dry out the life preservers. And on the fourth day, Lieutenant Wilbur C. Glenn spotted the raft. He was just a bomber pilot. He was just doing his regular rounds when he spotted them. He then phoned over to a nearby naval ship, and that's where they got rescued. There was someone that flew in with a boat plane and would pick up the ones that were in immediate danger. It got so crowded within the plane, the pilot even strapped members onto the wings with parachute cords just so he could get them out. The pilot saved 56 survivors just in one day. There was only 317 survivors at the end of it. It's very, very crazy and very, very scary. It's nothing you ever want to see. War is a terrible, terrible thing. And sharks? If that don't make you afraid of sharks, and all the mind games they play, they're apex predators, I don't know what does. I know this isn't a long video. I know this isn't my best video, but I've been busy. I got a new job. But I wanted to share this story. It's one of my favorite stories. It's one of the most tragic stories I've ever covered and ever heard about. I hope nothing ever like this happens again. And I hope you all enjoyed. And if you did, leave a like, leave a comment, or maybe subscribe. If not, I fully understand. I hope you all enjoyed. I appreciate you all so much for being here. And the next video is going to be a banger. I hope y'all are there. And as always, chat, stay safe and good night.